you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End of discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
My message to any dad, man, first off, know that, yeah, it is a hard job, but it's the greatest job in the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't change anything about it. Everything you're doing from here on out, if it didn't have purpose before, now it has purpose. It's the most important thing you'll ever do. Just be a dad.
Welcome to another episode of That Is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color and fatherhood, as well as changing the narrative on the things that I care about. And today, I'm truly excited to have this brother on because I'm all about sharing dad stories, especially single fathers, because often single fathers don't have a platform to go and just share their stories about the highs and lows of being a dad. We got this beautiful background on the west side of NYC in Manhattan. And I'm happy and honored to have this amazing brother, amazing father, just amazing brother in the community that's doing a lot of amazing stuff in the community. And I'm happy and I'm honored that he used his place for this episode of That Is Not a Noun. I got the good brother, Craig. Craig, brother, how you doing, brother?
Thank you. That's a really nice intro.
Thank you. I do what I do, man. That's what I do, man. My next question, because I'm all about mental health. It's going to be a big question. You know what I mean?
Yes.
How's your heart?
My heart hurts from a lot of things emotionally that I've endured through my life as a child, to a grown man, to a father. Organically, my heart is healthy. Emotionally, spiritually, there's some pain there.
And if you want to, let's delve into that pain, man. Just talk about your son. That's your heart. That's your everything. But just try to connect that dot of what you've been through growing up, and you don't want to pass that on to your son.
So that's a great, I guess, nice way to start. I mean, I'm a candid person. I speak to people, random people on the street, so we'll do the same here. Random people who are going to watch. Was born to a beautiful woman. Her name is Alina Peru. It's my mother. Who I'm recently lost to a fight with endometrial cancer recently. She was a good mother. We're from Trinidad. She's from Trinidad. She came here and did her best to create a life for me when she had me here. Unfortunately, not due to any drugs or any alcohol or chasing man or any bad habits. She had to kind of separate from me for a little bit. There were some financial struggles. I ended up in the foster care system. The foster care system is really where a lot of that pain started. I endured a lot of things no child should ever have to endure. I'd say every kind of abuse you can think about. I don't want to name them all. I think we can all use our understanding of what kind of abuse can take place to a child, and I would say every single one I endured. And that really left some deep emotional scars within me. And, as a child, growing up in that kind of environment, not understanding life, victim of a different types of, abuse really set the tone for me in life. But then my mother was able to work hard, build herself back up, and get me back. And by the time she got me back, I was still too young to understand her own traumas.
Right.
Still a child, maybe around 7.
Right.
So to understand her traumas was something that child would not understand, and I'll be honest in saying I didn't even understand them until I lost my mom.
Right.
And it's something that I'm struggling with right now. I'd say there isn't a day I don't end up on the floor in my home, on my knees, with my head to the floor, crying. My mother, she was a great woman. Who I did not understand again as a person. I was immature, and still just trying to get through my own traumas as a child. And then, unfortunately, when I became a father, after spending almost 9 years with my, still I guess I would have to say she's my wife because we're not even divorced yet.
Right.
But spending 9 years with her, helping raise her child from another marriage, her
Right.
daughter. We had a child together, and his name is Cairo Estrellas Peru. Cairo Estrellas Peru. The name means amazing boy born from the stars. Cairo is a city, it's the capital of Egypt.
Right.
And that actually was triumphant.
Right.
Let me clarify that.
Right.
And Estrellas is a great name given to a child that was born from the stars. So, really, the proper definition is Cairo Estrellas Peru, boy born from the stars.
Okay.
Triumphant boy born from the stars.
Right.
He's my everything. It's the reason why I'm here right now doing this podcast. The reason why I'm a real dad.
That's right.
Right? Real dad. And my motivation for triumphing through my own struggles, my own traumas, and continuing to try to steer him away from everything that I've experienced that was adverse in my life.
Right.
The abuse, which came in all forms, the wrong corners that I took,
Right.
gang activity when I was young, not understanding.
Right.
There's nothing there for me.
Right.
Trying to adapt and fit in.
Right.
To understanding women, I guess. I can't sit here, and I don't want to be that person to talk ill of my child's mother, but I would say that she has made it extremely difficult for me, given the fact that I did my best to be a good husband, a good stepfather, and a father. I had to fight for 4 years to make sure that I didn't lose my son to any false allegations, which to me was another level of trauma, another layer of trauma, one type of trauma. I always said I want the best for my son's mother because the best for her and the best for me means the best for our son. So that's kind of a little bit of my footprint in life. I'm not a perfect man, not a perfect son, not a perfect father. I'm not perfect by any means. But I know that I struggle and I strive for perfection, which means that every day I try to grow and be a better man, a better father. Maybe one day, maybe even a better husband, if that even is in my path again. But at this point in life, my only concern is the well-being of my son, my mental health, brothers around me who may be going through a similar struggle, or have been through a similar struggle, to help them learn how to advocate for themselves, how to advocate for their child, how to advocate for other brothers. You know, it's kind of a trickle-down effect. So, but you know, I get up every morning. I make my son's breakfast when he's with me. I make his lunch. I make his dinner. I take him to school. I pick him up. I bathe him. I buy his clothes. I help him with his homework. I teach him how to exercise, how to box, how to continue to be empathetic towards others. Everything that I didn't have as far as lessons that he taught to me. You know, no matter what I've been through, the one thing that always remained pure and solid and strong was my heart. You know, my heart definitely, even if I had an enemy, even if I was in the streets and I had a problem with you, as you were from elsewhere, or whatever the case may be, I just wasn't built to hate. I could fight, but deep inside, I didn't want to see anybody lose,
Right.
anybody hurt.
Right.
You know, I always try to help and uplift others,
Yeah.
even if it's the term that they pose. You know, you and I. It just wasn't within me, and it was just kind of adapting to my life style around me, my environment. But, you know,
No, and I think the one thing too is I always say that men can be nurturers too. And what are some of the valuable lessons or characteristics that your mom installed in you that you're installing in your little guy?
man, I learned a lot of valuable lessons. I feel, unfortunately, late. I would say even too late. I was very immature to understand that the way people may act towards you, or act in general, come with a background and a backstory. And one thing, a few things that my mother that I miss the most about my mother and her ability to just kind of like push me to understand is, even though my mother showed me in conflict with my son's mother, and she had her own reservations about my son's mother, she never incited a hateful attitude or ideology or perception towards her. She said, at the end of the day, it's still his mother. Continue to work towards an amicable resolution, even if it's not something that's within her. Never talk down, never talk about, never hate. Don't let it anger you. Stand strong in your beliefs. Stand strong in how you move, how you treat your child, my son, or grandson. Teach him that there's no room for hate. There's no room for animosity. And no matter what people say, a mother is not worth more than a father, and a father is not worth more than a mother. The idea that we, as children, when we're children, come from a woman is incorrect. We come from a man. We come from the semen.
Right.
We are incubated in the woman. It's completely equitable down the line. So, as a society, instead of trying to devalue the role of a man and a father in these days, where masculinity is looked at as a problem, or femininity is looked at as a problem. As a woman, you have to be tough and strong. As a man, you have to be soft or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, man has to still be a man, woman has to be a woman, and that's always what it's going to be. That's how we procreate. That's how we're supposed to respect life. Because without the man, we don't have, and the woman together, we're born and alive. I mean, you still need the gender of a man and a woman to make a child, no matter what. There's no technological advancements in that field. And if there is, then that's kind of scary to me.
Yeah, you never know anything's possible with science and technology. But let's push away from that science, technology, and everything like that. Thank you for letting me in your home, and I enjoy seeing the photos that you have on your wall with your son.
I took a picture of it. I'll show it on the screen. So.
Yeah, show it to the people, because it just shows the bond that you have with your son, and you creating these memories on the wall. So when he comes in,
we'll see. Hold on, sorry. I sent it to a friend of mine, so I guess I could just.
Yeah.
So.
If you want to make it, see. And it's just every stages of his life, and showing that you were there with him from when he was born until right now.
Correct. So, for instance, we can look at.
Yeah.
This is when he was born. Let's see if we can get it on here.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
To this. Let's see. Looking at the camera, see.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's Cairo Estrades, Peru. And that's me right here. And his grandmother and myself last New Year's.
Wow.
The last New Year's we spent together.
And that's the one thing too. It's like the one video I saw a while ago was the one regret the one man said was not taking enough photos. Because as you get older, you start not to remember things. But those photos, when you look at it, it kind of brings it back to you. And for your son to see that as he becomes a teenager and then become a man, and he sees these photos that, what, dad was there from day one. So just talk about that, from a father perspective when you come talking about legacy and being that impact father figure in your son's life.
Um, so the important word which you just said is legacy.
Right.
That's the most important word. And for my son, I'll reiterate: I'm not a perfect man, father, son, period. Human being. I've been through my struggles. I live with many regrets after I've walked. But all that encourages me, motivates me to rectify my wrongs every single day I wake up. Every single day. Whatever I may feel ashamed of, embarrassed of, unhappy about, I have to own. And I have to, at some point in my life, I will share everything with my son. I think that's the most important thing that you can do as a father. It's not try to put on a perception for your child. Give him the truth. Give her the truth. Give him the truth. Even if it is embarrassing, it hurts. The truth will set you free.
Yes.
So when that time comes, when he's older, we'll have that talk and he can ask me anything, but he'll see and understand my stories from where I was to where I'm at. And that to me there's nothing more peaceful and accomplished than be able to share war stories and the triumph of that war. So yeah, just owning up and just working to be better in every single facet, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Doesn't matter what your religion is, as long as you live righteous, as long as you have a heart to care for others, stand up for others, stand up for yourself. That's all that really matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters to me. Period.
And I got one more question because I'm a strong believer. They always talk about it takes a village to raise a child, but I do believe it takes a village to raise a man. So talk about the significance of having older men that's dads to kind of be that father figure as you're raising your child.
I can tell you from experience, I grew up without a father. I don't even know my father. I've never seen my father. I've spoken to my father. I know nothing of my father. I know everything about my mother. I know everything about the foster family. I know everything about the streets. I know everything about my son now and me. And I can say wholeheartedly, if I had a father in my life and he was actually good, because I don't even know what he would have been like, I think that would have strengthened me in many ways. That would have really cemented my legacy. But my legacy was so up and down, so unsolidified, so determined based on my whereabouts, who I was around, what area I lived in, that it caused me many problems and a lot of struggle with depression and other things. So I know that the important role of a man, of a father, is detrimental, and not just to a father and his son, to a father and his daughter. And it goes both ways. The same for a mother and her son and the mother and daughter. Parents. But as a father, it takes a man to raise a man. As a woman, it takes a woman to raise a woman. I can't spin it any other way.
No. I feel you. I feel you on that.
Can't.
I feel you that. But the question I was asking you, bro, but you broke it down. I love it. But like, you've been a part of the Real Dads Network, and so how's that helped you in your fatherhood as raising your child? You see these men out here raising their kids, and they're doing these things. Like, what? Like, how's that helped you?
I mean, first of all, I had this idea in my mind before I met Derek, and then I met Derek, and I said, "Oh shit, this man is doing what I was thinking." And I mean, I couldn't even be any more like shocked, happy. And here's the real part about being a man: you don't hate, you appreciate. And I appreciated this man. I was like, this man is running a vision that I got in my head. Like, get out of my damn head, Derek. Shit, I'm co-CEO here. If that's the case, if that is the case, I'm the co-chair here.
Right.
But all jokes aside, look, it is ridiculously impactful to have an organization that supports other men and other fathers. And I can give you the prime example. And I'm going to be candid here. I'm married for 9 years. I raised my son's mother's daughter for 9 years. I was part of that process. She did have a father. He was a good man, a father. I got to give him his respect on that. But when I went through this separation, which was extremely volatile, unfortunate, and really sad for what she did, caused me a separation between our son. I could not find any resources, any help, no matter how much I Googled help for dads, resources for dads. I couldn't find anything. Couldn't. One day, randomly, I got connected with Derek through my son's school bus driver, who was a real dad.
Wow.
Just like that. And then from then on, having these meetings, having the support of other fathers, hearing the stories, inspired me. Like, I can't be here without that.
Wow.
This man, he's sitting over there.
Yeah.
Quietly.
Texting.
Yeah, texting, right? Planning the next big movement. But anyway, this man showed up to me for court while I was litigating without an attorney because all my money was spent on previous litigation. I was doing my own motions, fighting in court for my son. Man, read my motions, critiqued it, and came to court.
Wow.
And he's the CEO. Like, he don't got enough on his plate.
Yeah.
So, the camaraderie, the respect, the fatherhood bond, the understanding, the maturity, the grown man life, the grown man just love. I don't know where I would be without it, man.
Wow.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know where I'd be without it. It has been very lonely until I met Derek and met a lot of you brothers. Lonely. I was at a point where I was so depressed, I was suicidal, I was homicidal. I didn't know why I was going through this, why somebody who I never did anything to. And again, not a perfect marriage. Nobody's proclaiming that. Just why I had to go through this, just to be a father. When your time comes, if that path you walk with somebody ends, you should be able to continue to be a parent without any cause of conflict. And I wasn't being allowed to do that just because I was a man and she was a woman. I was a father, she was a mother. And so a father is devalued or a man is devalued or he has no more respect. It didn't make sense to me. I couldn't find any support. So to be part of this, for me to be plain, blunt, God leads us into certain things, right? He led me here with the Real Dads. And I'm very, very humbled. I'm very appreciative to be here, to do this interview, to sit here with Derek, to sit here with Puma, to sit here with you, Ish. I'm just saying. right?
Oh man, definitely.
I was a random father, and here we are sitting on the rooftop doing an interview.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm very humbled. For me, one thing I learned from religion, I was Catholic, I was Muslim, Catholic, Christian. Now I embrace, the Islamic faith, and again, it has nothing to do with religion. But one thing I learned from all religion is that the truly meek ones will inherit the earth and live on it. It's better to be humble and be meek, rather be boastful, vain, selfish, and I don't live like that. I never will, and those are the things that I teach my son. To be a man, you got to be humble, you got to be strong, and lead by example.
Facts, man. And real talk, man. I thank you because you could have said no. And so I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, to be vulnerable, to share. Because I can see in your eyes, it was a struggle. You know what I mean? And just to share it to the world right there, that shows great strength, man. And so I appreciate you for coming on. This has been a great, phenomenal episode of the podcast. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we're out. Peace.